Hey guys, Tim here with the Long Hair Gardener, and today I am visiting my parents again here in Central PA, growing zone 6. And I thought I would walk you around and show you what their flower beds look like right now. We are nearing the end of September, and growing zone 6, so it's a little bit colder than Philly here, so plants are coming to the end of their lifespan. Also, they have been in a drought, so although they do water pretty regularly, things are looking a little dry, but I still think it's worth us to walk around and see what's growing here in central Pennsylvania. So it is a cool, overcast morning, which is perfect for looking at plants because there is no sun blinding us right now. And we'll start off here with these sunflowers, and I don't know if you can see or not, but there are some bees hanging out up here. It's probably a little too cool for them to be moving quickly, but they are out and about. Let's just walk over here since we're talking about the sunflowers. There are a few more right here. And she has a couple more on the side of the house, which we will also take a look at in just a minute. We have been moving some plants around. So this area that we're looking at right now is Mom's perennial bed. So mostly perennials, but you'll see that there are a few zinnias in here as well. So since it is fall, we have been shifting some plants around. We just redid this flower bed maybe 2 years ago. So we're still making some adjustments on where we're placing some of the perennials. But we do have some annuals, these zinnias right here, that are still in bloom and adding a lot of color here in the garden, and they are looking fantastic. We have a few more zinnias, this like hot pink reddish color. There are a few more down here as well. And we have a coneflower. This is a miniature, shorter version. And of course we can't help ourselves, so we did go to the greenhouse and buy a few more perennials to fill in the holes. And we did pick up these 3 coneflowers here as well. So here's a nice yellow one, a hot pink, and then this one that's not in bloom is a red color. We also picked up these guys right here. Of course, I can't remember the name of them right now, so I will have to put that on the screen for you. But we have a little cluster of these guys right here. She also has some beautiful coxcomb or celosia. I kind of use the word interchangeably, but I think celosia is the correct word for these. Maybe these are more coxcomb where they're pointy, and then there's these fan variety here. Like I said, I kind of use the word interchangeably. I'm not sure which is which though, but I always love these. They do recede. Let's come back in here. Not sure if you can see all of these little black balls that are kind of sticking to the side of the flower, but these are the seeds. We're just going to help Mom out and throw those in there. So they will reseed next year. She has a little miniature sunflower here, and I see another bee. Let's see if we can take a look at him. Everybody's definitely not warm enough to be moving around. There is some, and I'm not going to go over everything because everything is not in bloom right now. So having said that, let's just skip that and we'll just keep walking around here. She does have some mums that are getting ready to bloom, but not quite there yet. There is a single phlox right here, still in bloom. And it looks like her spirea has finished blooming, but there are a couple little specks of color here, so you can see this is what it looks like normally. So you can imagine how nice this looks with all of that pink color in there. There are some brown-eyed Susans. Maybe these are the black-eyed Susans, but these are the wild flower variety. She does have the Ogon grass sprinkled throughout the garden. We're actually going to step up in here. She just bought this as well, and we planted it. Can I remember what this is called? No, not right now. I'm sure later as we're walking around it will come to me. She has a yellow gaillardia that's still blooming. So what we're focusing on right now is finding some plants that are in bloom late in the fall or in the fall time, because this garden is packed with color, of course, in the summer, and there's a lot of spring bulbs in here as well. But we're kind of evaluating everything right now and trying to find some more flowers that are going to be in bloom this time of year, because the garden's, you know, not as colorful, and Mom is trying to create a garden that produces colorful blooms all 3 seasons. So one of those perennials is this Coreopsis right here, and this is very pretty. We'll spin around. There is another type of Coreopsis right here, and this blooms throughout the season. This is another one of these zinnias. I know it looks very similar, but these are 2 different types of plants. This is another plant that is blooming right now, and this is really nice. I think this is a pincushion flower. You don't see the tags. Sometimes Mom puts the tags in there. But here's more of this Ogon grass that I was talking about, right around the fountain. Let's take a little walk up this way. So I did want to point out, I think I showed you before, this hydrangea is absolutely massive. It is at least, it's probably 5.5, maybe 6 feet. Let's say 5.5 feet tall, a little over 6 feet across. So this is a massive hydrangea. Looks like there's a bloom here. So I'm excited to see what this looks like in the spring when it blooms. This is the biggest this has ever been. She has a heuchera down here, finishing up blooming. There's of course some hostas in the background. She has chicks and hens in the strawberry pot. She also has a Ficus elastica houseplant out here for the summertime. Here she has a caladium, some more of those chicks and hens. The chicks and hens kind of live everywhere. There's a geranium, and the sedum are right now in bloom, and these are looking fantastic. There's another one of these ficus houseplants in here, and then some impatiens. It's another sedum. This one just has darker foliage. You can see it kind of has like purple in the stems. And then right up here are some more of the sunflowers I mentioned. These are this really pretty pale yellow color. We've got another bee hanging out right here. I think these might be my favorite. I like this shade, or prefer this shade of yellow over the traditional bright yellow. There is a field of sunflowers locally, and hopefully we can take a drive over there and I can get a shot of those sunflowers for you, because it's quite a sight to see. All right guys, I wanted to show you this field of sunflowers here behind me. Unfortunately, it is raining, but I still think you can get a good view here of what's going on. Might actually be better that it's raining. Let me turn the camera around so that you can get a good look. The vincas are doing really well. Love the two-tone. There's many tones in here, but the dark center and then the lighter petals. So this is another, this is an aster. That's the plant I could not remember minutes ago when we were in the perennial bed. It's also purple. So this is a fall blooming flower. So this is one that she's had for a few years, and the one I showed you down in the perennial bed we just planted yesterday or the day before. She has some rudbeckia up here. I believe she grew these from seeds. And then right here on the corner we have some elephant ears, and she also put this really dark sweet potato vine here around the base, which looks fantastic. You know, elephant ears just go up and then there's ground exposed around it, so the elephant ear is a really nice way to cover the ground with some foliage. And I love the contrast between the two colors. She has some silver mound down here. This is a very soft plant. I love touching it. She has some snapdragons. These all reseed themselves, which is definitely nice. They will do that depending on your growing zone. Some more vincas. There's a Vista bubblegum petunia down here as well. And there are some more zinnias. This is a gigantic one right here. Love the color of this orange. And then this plant right here is a Mexican sunflower. I really love the shape of these from the side. We'll just point upward. I love how the stem is real thick and then gets thinner as it goes down here. Here's another shot, but of course it's also a beautiful orange color. Rounding the corner, we'll walk up here on the steps real quick just so I can show you my mom's purple heart. It is humongous. She does bring this in over the winter, and it does have a bloom right here. Also, while we're up on the porch, we'll take a look at the brown-eyed Susan vine, which has some more flowers here in the back than in the front. The neighbor's dog is barking. If you hear something, that's what's going on. So along the sidewalk, she has all of these vincas in all different colors. And they, like I said, look fantastic. They kind of seem like they have changed color a little bit as the season's gone along. And right now, I think they look great, the color combinations. She has some elephant ears and some cannas in the back there. And here's another shot of that brown-eyed Susan. Looks like there is a, I'll step back in here. Looks like there's a penta still blooming. This area here is all coneflowers, but she did trim them back. Huge lemon coral sedum down here. And it looks like these petunias are still doing pretty good. Like I said, they're in a drought right now, so things are looking pretty good for being so dry and so late in the season. Typically, this time of year, things are starting to die for the season. Here we have another type of mum, just getting ready to bloom. A couple more days, this will all be in flower. We'll walk right over here. Another sedum, and so many bumblebees kind of sleeping. That's not the right word, they're not sleeping, but it's so cold that they're kind of conserving their energy, I think. So there's one here, and there's one back here. There's a whole bunch of them. There's some more right there. This is a kind of a ground cover geranium. This is what it looks like when it blooms. Usually this is all in this bright pink color. And it looks great right up against this other plant. We're gonna break a piece off, Mom won't mind. And I will have to put the name of this up on the screen, because Tim can't remember. We'll put this up here so that we can get a better look at it. I love the berries on this Jack in the Pulpit. I think I have a picture of what it looks like when it has foliage on it, but I love when it produces those berries as well. So I think we skipped a few things in the front, but I also want to point out down here in this fielded area, they always grow some zinnias, and I want to walk down here and show you what they're looking like. Okay, we made it. These look beautiful. Like, look at all of this color. Yes, a lot of them have finished blooming for the season, so there are a lot of you know, brown flowers on here, so you may have to use your imagination a little bit. There's a really pretty pink one, but when this is in full bloom, there's so much color down here. And zinnias are so easy to grow. You basically just scatter the seeds around on the ground here, and Mother Nature does the rest for the most part. They just need sun and water, and this is what you get. And, you know, they're looking pretty good for not having one of the elements. They don't have the water part recently, but they're still looking nice. I'm walking through here trying to find a couple pretty ones to show you. There are some speckled. There's a nice like pale yellow. When I walked down through here the other day, I saw some that had some speckling, which looked really nice. Oh, here's one. So I like the striped splash speckling. I don't know what you want to call it, but there's another one right here. Almost every one of these that I touch has some kind of bug on it. But this one here is very like very full and thick. I don't know what these spiders are, but yeah, almost every one of these flowers has this tiny little spider on it. All right, I think you get the idea here. This one is so vibrant, but this is what the zinnias look like this year. Okay, we're walking up the hill, passing these sunflowers again. Of course, now we're out of breath. I did want to show you in the front here. So we're back at the sidewalk again. That is a big hill. Mom has a begonia hanging from the tree here. I think that's a nice spot for that. And right in the middle of the yard, she has 2 strawberry sundae hydrangeas. And they are supposed to get like this light pink color as the season goes on. But it looks like not a lot of that happened this year. You can see it a little bit right here. But it still produced a lot of flowers, even though they're not pink. But they still look nice. There are some dead ones on there as well. And then down below here, we have some impatiens. Neighbor's dog wants to say hello again. There are some not geraniums, begonias out front here. And there is she did not plant this here. There's a random cardinal climber right here. So this vine that produces these little red flowers, she has grown this in the past, so the seeds just kind of blew around and somehow made its way into this flower bed. And there's a rudbeckia here as well. The cardinal climber is climbing up a hibiscus, but it is done blooming. But that's what it is climbing up. And we'll just take a little stroll over here. There's not too much growing, but I think I did want to just show you these grasses over here. They normally produce like a flume, but they do not do that this year. Again, I think we're going to blame it on how dry everything is. All right, guys, that's everything for today. Thank you for joining me as we take a look at my parents' flower beds. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next garden video. Have a great day.